What's up, guys? It's Paige Pierce. We're here at Glendoveer Disc Golf Course. We're late May. It's almost my birthday. And we're doing it in the bag with Team OTB. I did one of these already this year back in January, but it's cool to see. If you haven't already seen it, go back and watch that one because it's cool how my bag's already shifted since January. So first up, I got my putters. I throw baseline Fierces. These are stock runs. I just took the stamp off. They're very swirly and stiff, and I really love how straight they are. Whether I'm 20 feet or 40 feet, they fly the same. Some putters, the farther you get back, the more you realize how stable they are, and they hook up left before the basket as a right-handed thrower. So I love the Fierce. It's 3, 4, 0, -2, and just like very straight to slightly understable. That way I'm aiming at the basket, not wide of the basket, looking for it to hook up at the last minute. So baseline Fierces, love them, love them. If you're looking for a good baseline Fierce, flat and stiff ones, they're very, very true to flight. Next up, I got some more. All of my throwing putters are all Fierces. I just throw different runs for different stabilities. So right now, my go-to is the UV Glow. That's what I threw in at the Champions Cup for Eagle on the back 9. I can't remember the whole number, but this is what I threw in there, UV Glow. They're really torque resistant for a Fierce. I can throw it into the headwind that you saw at Champions Cup and it holds up. That one is slowly becoming my go-to. It used to be this one, the Player of the Year, Crystal Fierce. If you guys have been a fan of mine for years, you've seen this in every single in the bag I've ever done with Discraft. This has been my #1 thrower throughout my Discraft career. My dog got a little nibble on it and it's starting to get a little flippy. So this one has become into my turnover shot. And it's slowly working its way out of the bag, and I'm just gonna keep it for the collection. And so this is my newest one to the bag. This is same run, Player of the Year, Crystal Fierce, but it's a new one, fresh in the bag. So it's really stable still right now, and it doesn't fly like the yellow one at all because that one's been in my bag for 5 seasons. So this one I'm starting to break in, and this will be my go-to just dead straight approach disc. Just anywhere I am, if I put it on Annie, if I put it flat, put it on hyzer, it's gonna hold that line and just fly forward on that path. Next up for slower mids, I got one on each end of the spectrum, overstable. I'm throwing zone. It's slow, everyone knows the zone, but it's slow and overstable. If you want that reliable fade to the left zone, I got the OTB Galactic stamp, and this one is the Color Shift Sparkle. Next up, I got on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's the same speed, but this thing is very understable. It's the Glidey Late Flip Master. This is the Soul. This is my absolute #1 recommended disc to any player. The numbers are 4, 5, -3, 0. And a lot of pros or higher level advanced players think they're too strong for it, but I disagree. I challenge you to try one. It's just, for the first 70% of its flight, it's so straight, and the last 30%, you get that fade to the right. It's like that late turner where if you don't want to throw a sidearm, you want to throw backhand, but you want that sidearm look, Soul's the one. The higher you throw it, the better, so it just has time to glide and keep turning over to the right. Just want to shout out a couple of my friends. All of my Souls in my bag are dyed by friends of mine. So shout out to my buddies over at Flying Colors, and then this is my buddy Connor. All right, next up on the mid-ranges, I got 2 more. I got the Buzz and the Buzz OS. Everyone knows the Buzz, dead straight, point and shoot. Same thing to my Fierce, but a little bit farther. If I throw it on Annie, it'll hold. If I throw it flat, it'll just finish dead straight ahead of you. And if I throw it on hyzer, it's just got a nice swooping hyzer. Love the Buzz, can't go without a Buzz in your bag. Next up, Buzz OS. This feels a lot like a Buzz, but it's got that overstable glide. It's right in between a zone and a Raptor. And it's crazy when you hold it because it feels so much like a Buzz, but I underestimate it all the time. It's so overstable. So this thing hooks up like a Raptor, but doesn't get the skip. Next up, I got the Passion, probably my most used disc in my bag. My favorite one right now is ESP Swirl. This is my stock run of them. But I got the Pirate Nate stamp on here that we did a limited edition of. And this is like our family crest that Pirate Nate designed for us. So this one's really special to me. And it's just if I'm feeling any bit of fear or hesitation, I grab this disc and I know I can get it between 350 to 380 dead straight. And it's just like a longer buzz. It's always a passion. Next one, and this is one of the newer discs in my bag. I did touch on this in the bag in January, and I've grown to love it even more than I did then. This is a run that we did through Discraft. They're on my website. They're glow, and the glow is really bright. It's amazing. And it's a Christmas stamp, which feels funny, but it kind of gives me memories of previous Christmases and makes me look forward to future Christmases, but also it's just a amazing flyer. It's torque resistant. It goes into a headwind. It's just my passion that I get maybe the last 60 feet of its flight, just a subtle finish to the left. So this one is not quite point and shoot. You got to aim a little bit right at your target because it does have a stable finish. All right, I got 2 more fairway drivers in my bag. Next one is a Z Raptor. This thing, I like to go after the flat and stiff ones. I just know they're gonna be really overstable out of the box. I know exactly what they're gonna fly like. This is one of my signature discs with Discraft, the Z Raptor. So they directly support me, and it's a disc that any player needs in their bag. They're really good for overstable shots that are going between 280 to 320. Really reliable, overstable finish, and they will get a skip at the end too. I do throw them for chip sidearms as well. And then the next one and the last fairway driver in my bag is the Vulture. And I like to call it like a Raptor long. So I told you I'm getting that one between 290 and 310. These ones I'm getting between 310 and 330. So if I want it to fly like a Raptor, but I want it to go a little bit farther, I'm throwing the Vulture. And I really love ripping on these when it seems like a driver shot, but there's OB deep, because I can really power it like a driver. But it's not going to go OB deep. So the run I'm really liking is ESP Swirl. These are the Holland Hanley 2023 Tour Series. This one is newer to my bag. It wasn't in my last in the bag. This is a more stable version of this one. This one's starting to get beat in, so I kind of have 2 in my bag just in case there's a little bit more breeze. You'll see me throwing this one. But I know it's not going to flip on me, and I know it's not going to go OB deep if it's 350 or more. All right, into the drivers. The slowest driver in my bag is the Heat. This is, I would say this is a utility disc for me. It's not in my bag at every tournament. It's when the course has roller shots. You're gonna see me grabbing this ESP Heat. These are, for me, on flippy discs like this, I'll go down into the 160s, 167, 169. I don't mind going down a little bit because I want it to flip, and that's gonna help me get a little bit more turn on that. But yeah, like I said, I really like them for rollers. I feel like even if I slightly undercommit, as long as I have enough room, it eventually stands up. So it's really foolproof roller shots. If you don't think you have a roller, I encourage you to try a Heat because it makes it easy. All right, 2 more discs for you, but I got a few different of the molds in my bag. I got Drive and Zeus left. So the Drive, I throw in 3 different plastics. It's my main driver. And this first one I'm going to tell you about is the ESP Swirl. This one came out flat and stiff, and these are only available through me so far, either in person at a tournament or on my website. This run in particular is how I want the Drive to fly like. This is when I envisioned the Drive and creating this disc, this is the run that I wanted it to fly like. It's just, I pop it on a slight hyzer release, and about halfway into the flight, flips up to flat and pushes, and then at the end of the flight, it just subtly rides to the right. I really love that disc shape, or that, I really love that shot shape, especially in a driver. That's something that you usually see in fairway drivers. So to have a disc that flies like that in driver form is just, it's giving me so much more confidence on long tunnel shots and par 4s where usually I would pick apart the hole and play for par. I'm really being aggressive on this because I trust it to fly so straight. Next up in stability is the new 2025 Tour Series. This is quickly becoming my go-to one. I can get it to fly on many different angles, but what I'm really liking it for the most is just down flat. So I'm dipping the rim down to the left just barely. So just the subtlest hyzer flip shots, but full power. You can really rip on it, and it stands up to flat and just pushes. And It doesn't really hook up at the end, but it also doesn't really turn at the end. It's just very, when you see it pop up to flat, it's pretty much gonna land on that same line, unless I throw a big Annie with it, which is the other use that I have for this disc. I love also ripping it on big Annie shots for that full S flight. When you are gonna go for those big, powerful shots with this drive, I encourage you to give it more anhyzer and more height. Definitely the more Annie, the more height you want, because it's gonna turn, but it's gonna hook up. You just gotta give it enough time in the air. That is my go-to right now. You're gonna see me throwing this a lot at the Portland Open. All right, last up, ESP Swirl. These came out way domey, especially a few runs I found of these are very, domey. Make sure if you're looking for a stable drive, you get an ESP Swirl one, and you get one that has some stiffness to it and some pop top. Some of them came out a little bit flatter and softer. That's not gonna be what you're looking for if you're looking for a headwind fighter. This thing definitely holds some torque, and if it's windy, I don't get scared with this disc at all. That being said though, sometimes we go to places like Austin or Kansas, and it's just insanely windy. In that case, I will club up to a Zeus. These are 12 speed, so 1 speed faster, but the fade is 3. So they do have a lot more torque resistance and stability. I like to throw these two on power hyzer shots. If I know I have OB on the right and I know I want that fade to the left, these two are my go-tos. This one's a little bit straighter than this one. It's just more beat in. I got this at a used bin from Stash Disc. Shout out to Stash Disc. But yeah, this one, I throw it pretty flat with this subtle fade. And this one, I just full power rip. I could even throw this on Annie and it's gonna come back. So the Zeus, again, stable and stiff. That's what I'm looking for in my overstable drivers. And other than that, in my bag boy, I got this back pocket back here. Sometimes I put a couple more discs in the bag that in case one of these goes in the water, or you're gonna see these in a future in the bag. I'm trying to work them in. This one is just like my orange one, the last one I showed you, but it's even more domey. This thing is crazy. If you're looking for overstable drives, check out the misprint section on my website. These are insanely beefy. And then I got one more Tour Series, breaking that in, because if and when I lose that purple one, I wanna make sure to have a backup. And like I said, these are very much becoming my go-to drivers. So, all right, so that's it for my discs. And then I just wanna shout out my sponsors. I got grip equipment for the bag. I got Bag Boy for the cart. Of course, we're here on OTB, and then all my discs are Discraft. So check out my sponsors. Thanks so much for supporting me on the road, and see you out there somewhere.